I'm Pauline, 10, Administration Police Sergeant. Working at Kandala Sub-County. I've lived positive-free since I knew my status 207. I'm a peer educator, so I've been giving sensitizing officers on HIV-related issues. When I've done with my duties, I also concentrate on HTC, that is HIV testing and counseling within Kandala district and even nationally. We're going to test HIV to the officers, and I would say that I've seen a positive impact. There was an outreach yenye ilikuwa imekuja kwa kambi, so they had the tents, and I felt everybody is going to be tested. I could also go for the testing. When I went for the testing, unfortunately it turned positive. Nilistuka, I almost collapsed. Nikakataa kutoka pale. Unajua hii kitu si kitu unaweza pata tu uchukue ni kama ni chakula umepata. I had lived a good life uko mbele. So I was like, why me? Kwa nini Mungu mimi? And I felt maybe solution ilikuwa tu ni kukufa and all that. I felt if possible I will even shoot myself. Then the one who had tested me was so supportive. After that, he could come for counseling, the AP camp, and he held my hand. There was stigma. People would see you as an outcast. Now, enough is enough. Ile kitu wataongea tu kidogo na itaisha. And I had to disclose to my husband. I disclosed to him. He has been so supportive. I'm a mother of one daughter and 2 boys who are HIV negative. I'm so happy of them, and they give me, every day that I see my children, I see my future.
It's just sharing experiences.
I decided to come out and speak about my status openly, publicly, because I could see my other officers who are infected and the way they were being treated. And I felt it's the high time. I'll not hide about it. I'll talk about it openly to just see if I can save an officer's life.
Mimi naitwa Inspector Ali Amri Mlalanaro wa IP na ni mzaliwa wa Mtongwe, Mombasa County. Mbali na kazi ya polisi, mimi mwenye kwanza naishi na virusi. I'm living positive life. Habari zenu tena. Na mbali na kazi ya polisi, pia ni peer educator. Huwa nafundisha, mbali na kufundisha polisi wenzangu, pia mtaani huku huwa nafundisha. Hata leo nimekuja Mtongwe. Watu kama bado hawajaelimika vizuri, knowledge. Ignorance inasumbua. Wameelewa kibado still wanataka hivi ignorance yao, bado wanataka still more awareness. Pia naona. Ndio kila leo wanazalia la kila siku akili zinakuwa tofauti. Kuna kanseli yao, wengine wanatokeza hivi. Hapa kuna picha nyingine hapa. Hii picha nyingine utakaoiangalia vizuri, alafu sasa ndo kwa sababu sasa hii yote inatulenga sisi wenyewe, si ndio? Iangalie vizuri, alafu sasa tujue madhara wapi na tabu ziko wapi sasa. Mtu analakia anaogopa fulani sijue, sasa anakuwa ni yake tu. Mwingine anaweza kuwa hata paka viziti yapime. Apate sana hayo na abaki nayo. Na akata kufuata dawa na kaya kabisa fadhali nikupe sasa.
Then what will you
Mimi kwa jamii. Wanaangalia na jamaa kama yuko wanasi tusikue. Ukweli kabisa kujijua na virusi ambavyo vilitokeza nilipata hypozoster 1994. Zamani nilikuwa madaktari hawaambiagi watu kwa anaficha kimi mwenyewe sasa ile kushuku. Na kushuku yangu ilikuja kwa sababu ile mimi nilikuwa naye. Nilikuja kwa nimeoa. Watu wakuta wanaanza kususpect kwa alikuwa na bwana ambaye alikufa na virusi.
His health started deteriorating, and with that, endless visits to the hospital began.
Lakini sikio nikamkazania daktari, bwana nimeona sasa hii iko na jeshi inakuja kipote. Akaniambia niambie mimi kama kifo nishona nyingi. Akabidi aniambie okay, alikuwa positive. Nikamwambia sio kitu kidogo tu, sasa kwa nanieka siku nyingi, so niambia namna hii. Lakini nilivyojua sasa shida ya kwangu ikaja kuambia bibi yangu sasa.
His wife too started ailing. She was eventually diagnosed as being HIV positive.
Akashtuka, lakini mwenzangu hakujikubali, akapanic. Na the way vile alingoja zamani Lucas nipe ilikuwa mbaya. Na alikuwa vile tangazo na vile kwa kama zini. Alikaa only 3 months. Akafari.
Inspector Mlalanaro decided to stand up and share his story.
Mimi naamini Mungu alikuwa amenijenga hata kwa sababu mimi nijenga hivi. Zamani nilikuwa nafanya kazi Lamu. Na Lamu kwa wakati hiyo kuna mashifta nini. Tunapigia la marisasi, nasikia zangu naye amekufa. Ninakuja ni mzima. Sasa kuja kunikuta kama sikufa na marisasi, nakuja kufa na hii. Ovyo nakuwa sasa ni mtu ambaye hata uelewe.
In the beginning, it wasn't easy, he admits. His family was against it.
Nishajulikana sasa kusimama kwenye watu. Ndio hawataki pia. Kwa hiyo Mungu haitaki. Anambia sasa ukishajijua usinyamaze. Sasa unaambia tu ya nini? Sasa hiyo ni stigma. Mimi nikafunga masikio kwa siku. Na kama niacheni bwana. Hii ni yangu hii. Hii roho ni yangu ikitoka niache. Lakini sasa si mwisho wa maisha. Sasa mpaka sasa bado nimesimama.
Declaring his status publicly opened opportunities for him. He was trained as an HIV counselor.
Kitu kishatokea. Kwa mfano hapo kitokea nyoka saizi hapa, utafanyaje? Mtu akijishuku tu. Sio watu wengine kama daktari. Sikia nenda kwa Mlalanaro bwana. Na kwa mtu akikuja kwangu mimi vile CW na mkasa kidogo, na mimi si daktari, lakini uzuri wa mambo na uzuri kwanza wacha uende hospitali kwa vipi? Ukipatikana huko nao urudi tena kwangu. Kwani na mwanzikira referral anaenda bomb stand.
I was on stage 4, and stage 4 I think is almost the last stage. So there, each and every person lose hope. Is knocking the door to the mortuary. My name is Arpito Oi, Constable of Police. I'm based at Kondele Police Station, attached to VIP protection, Nairobi. I'm 48 years. I'm married with 6 children. I came to know my status in the year 2010. By that time I was in Limuru. First I denied for about almost half a year. The ugonjwa occurred again. So I decided to go for retesting. In the year 2011, I became more serious and bedridden. And I was weighing almost, I think 40-something kgs, if I'm not wrong. All from 76. After that, I was sent home to relax a bit because I could not perform any duty.
Peter had a hard time disclosing his status to his wife.
Anyway, my wife is somebody very much understanding, a well-informed lady. So after learning that, she told me that if that's the thing, there's nothing you can do. With our age, where could I run to? The only thing is to do zero grazing now. Because that made me to nickname the ugonjwa Speed Governor. because it calculated my speed. Maybe my speed was so high before knowing my status.
He was then put on medication.
I'm very lucky. I really responded to the drugs. Yeah, very much. 2012 mid, when I started walking with minus walking stick. At that time I was using a walking stick. I was being supported to walk.
Constable Peter learned to face the world with courage and accept his status. He joined a support group.
If you have a load, you are carrying a very big load. If somebody helps you to put it down, you will feel relieved. Declaring is like removing the load from your head.
Despite a notable decline in HIV prevalence, attributed in part to significant behavioral change and increased access to antiretroviral treatment, HIV and AIDS remains a challenge in the police service.
Police was left behind. Unakuta ya kwamba 10 by 10 unaishi wawili. 10 by 10? Wanaishi wangapi? Na moja ni mtu ambaye anapenda pengine wanawake. Si ni kweli? So if you are sharing the house, it will force me to give you time, nitoke niende. Nikuje nikute ya kwamba umemaliza maneno yako, umelala. Si ni kweli? Na usiku by saa 6 nitaenda kwa nani? Nitaenda kwa Batu. That's the only place. Kwa sababu wengine wote wamelala. Kwa sababu kila siku mama wako nyumbani, wengine wako siku moja nitakuwa tempted. Si ni kweli? Yeah, it's something normal.
Family issue and working far from the families contributes, because we are human beings. We are human beings, and I feel hata sisi tunaliact tu kama binadamu wengine.
Kila mmoja anaona kama hii kitu ya mwingine, anaona kama sijeti polisi ashiki.
There was a burden on the service because officers were a bit reluctant to take up care and treatment, so you find that more officers were either bedridden or others could die.
They know what it's like to be newly diagnosed and how it feels to deal with HIV-related stigma and discrimination. They understand the challenges of accessing care, treatment and support. They've decided not to hide, but to share their stories and use their experience to inspire others. Sergeant Pauline was brave and open about living with AIDS at a time when most officers were quiet about the epidemic.
I would look at the way they have guns and all that. So if there's stigma, an officer would even opt off killing himself or herself because of the stigma at the workstation. Lakini ile feeling neglected, feeling they're not worth living. And when you talk with the officer, and some would even go to alcohol. And I felt I'll have to come out of it and say, mimi kama mkubwa, I'm a sergeant, I will talk about it, and so that the juniors could learn from me, and even my seniors should learn from me, and stop even stigmatizing the others.
Some were distancing themselves from me. Even greeting you, they could not. Yeah. Even sharing a cup, even sharing a office. There's so many things.
Did it affect you?
If you are open and you say it, automatically, it's just like spitting whatever is in our. So you must be relieved.
According to the Kenya AIDS Indicator Survey, 5.6% of adults in Kenya, an estimated 1.2 million people, are living with HIV and AIDS compared to 2007, when the prevalence was 7.2%. HIV prevalence among the men and women in uniform was alarming. In 2010, Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation and AIDS Response in Forces in Uniform Arifu initiated a program to provide training and support HIV-positive soldiers.
There was that gap, and officers were living in fear because they didn't know whom to tell, and they didn't know whoever they are going to tell. is going to happen. And we'd have only one person over there, another one over there, another one would come and tell me in secret that this has happened. I was taking my medication in this place, I've been moved to another area, I'm unable to access my medication. They disclose their status to the people they work with, their bosses, and so they get permission to work in HIV activities, be it peer education or offering HIV services or giving adherence support to their fellow officers.
Through the EGPAF Arifu collaboration, uniformed officers now have psychosocial support groups all over the country, helping them to deal with the challenges of HIV one day at a time. Christian Soldiers of Hope, the group formed in 2010, comprises of Kenya Police, Administration Police, National Youth Service and Kenya Wildlife Service, who are living positively with HIV. Apart from encouraging behavior change, the soldiers preach a message of hope among the officers that life does not come to an end just because one has been infected with HIV, but an opportunity to create a better life.
The HIV testing among the uniformed officers, so that has increased, and overly we are reaching more and more officers, and this has been because of the involvement of our Soldiers of Hope. We work with them in the outreaches, they go out there, they tell people about their status, they give people information, hence they improve access to testing. Going towards zero new infections, we are not there yet, but I think we have certain milestones. We have built capacity, they have the knowledge, they have the skills, they have the infrastructure to ensure we have prevention, care and treatment services at these sites, so that ultimately the outcome will be zero new infections.
That is why today we planned that we will have HIV testing and counseling.
A member of the Soldiers of Hope, she suddenly had a purpose to speak for those who are afraid to speak, to teach those who needed to learn. Pauline finally had a life mission.
Mi wakati nilipatikana, I thought I was just as beautiful as I am na nilikuwa naona siwezi patikana, hata wakati niliambiwa singeamini. Lakini mimi ni AP na ninaelewa hii maneno yote, lakini nilipatikana, nilijipata niko na HIV. The entry point is knowing your status. Entry point is knowing your status, because you will not take care of yourself if you have not known your status. We need that officer today. Tomorrow we'll need that officer. I've seen a big change because after I've talked with the officers, you've done the counseling, the ones, and you've done even the testing. The ones who are feeling maybe they hawawezi patikana na HIV, they feel kama madam anaweza patikana. So it could be possible hata mimi naweza patikana. There is a lot of change of behavior. Behavior change is very high. No, the officers are really responsible.
So we have learned a lot. Get a transfer like today, you just go and you start preaching the gospel of HIV and AIDS. Just help the other officers to know there is HIV and you can be tested.
Mambo ya HIV ni kama, naamini ni kama dini. Lazima kila siku kumbushana. Wanadamu waliumbwa na kusahau. Ukijijua ni mzuri kwa sababu kuna ugonjwa nyingi.
Inspector Ali Mlalanaro, who is stationed at Mombasa Island Division, has become a powerful voice in the fight against HIV and AIDS.
Unanyapaa mara nyingi ndio mpaka sisi tunakanda kuna kujipima, mtaonekana mimi sijui niko na sijui. Kumbe sio hivyo, hiki tunapata pasta, napata kila mtu. Bora wewe mwanadamu. Hospitali hapa, daktari tunayo yule pale, visiti kila kitu. Pale hata ni aibu. Wakisema kati ile jinsi iangaliwe na kuta askari kidogo sana walojipima, watu nje ndio wengi wanaitumia. Sasa inakuwa hii yetu, lakini watu wengi wanafadisha watu nje kwa sababu si hii stigma tuko nayo wenyewe. Sasa kama mimi niko, kwa nini wenzangu nao waende nikiwa naona na macho? Nipate motisha kwa lazima pia nao wao wako strong, kwa sababu hii peke yangu sitaweza, lakini tukiwa pamoja na mtu akijijua haitasambaa sana. Kazi pia itaendelea vizuri, kwa sababu tukisema ndaacha wengi watakuwa wagonjwa na kazi nani atafanya kazi.
Once we test them, we don't refer them to any other place. We take care of them within the facility here.
Administration Police Service adopted a coordinated approach to deal with the pandemic by developing a workplace policy on HIV and AIDS in 2010.
Before we had the workstation policy, even personally, I would fear to come out because I did not know the reaction. But at least the act is really, it's covering us, I would say. It's very clear. So even if you're stigmatized, at least you have something to hold to.
The policy provides suitable guidelines to address HIV and AIDS issues such as prevention, stigma, discrimination, and gender disparities.
As I was taking my duties, the senior officers saw that I qualified to get to the rank of corporal, and I've climbed up the randa to the sergeant, because I've been performing my duty, because there's no stigma, there's no discrimination.
Sisi kama zamani, yani kila kitu ni digital sasa. Hata askari pia uweze ondosha tu hivi kama zamani ya. Sisi ni mzuri.
We've put them into regions and formed support groups for them. So they share their experiences, they share whatever challenges they go through, and then those challenges come to us. We'll not allow an officer to be discriminated based on their status, discriminated not to undergo through a certain training, not to be promoted. So we make sure that all their issues, we take care of them, we address them, we advise the management of the department on what issues are affecting these officers.
While the public sector workplace policy for the Kenya Police Service was implemented in 2004, various challenges, though, have been expressed, necessitating the review of the policies to incorporate emerging issues in the management of HIV and AIDS.
Peleka hata wakubwa seminars, the way they should handle the juniors like us.
The community, to some extent, is not able to reach the police officers kwa sababu wanaogopa. So when you have many officers who are trained on these issues, it will be easier to reach the officers at the grassroots level.
The way to handle officers who are living positively is to build capacity of the available facilities, be it within the forces jurisdiction or outside, but also have people who are aware of these officers and are able to work with them. You know, they work under stressful conditions, they work away from home. So again, dealing with some of these issues, there are issues about disclosure to their families. So wherever it is that they are accessing services, these things should be taken in consideration.
Getting out.
Determined to motivate others living with HIV, Constable Peter formed 5 support groups in his rural home, Maina sublocation in Kisumu County. He made the community aware that anyone could be HIV positive but still have a productive life.
He has inspired me, and through his efforts, the community is also inspired, been teaching us a lot of things, and has actually changed the lives of many of our people.
If you can do away with the stigma, you will live even 101 years. Yeah. And as I said, HIV and AIDS is the most disciplined disease because you can negotiate with it. You cannot negotiate with cancer.
We are getting below zero, actually.
Each person in his or her own way is taking a brave stand against the virus. They're fighting back because fighting back is a means to their survival. Their message to anyone is, get tested, which is the first step towards an AIDS-free generation.
Ukiangalia ratio is almost 1 to 1,000 to 1. Polisi moja kwa watu 1,000, na sasa akiwa chini. That's a blow to that service. If I can win even 2 people or a single man per day in that camp, is so good. Kwa sababu nikiwin mwanaume, a policeman, automatically nimewin the whole house. Hako na family hata kama wako nyumbani. Ni kweli. It is something good. Ujue mtu aende apimwe, akipimwa hiyo ni history. Kama ana the first break itakuwa ni kwa bibi yake ama kwa bwana yake.
It is important for people to be tested when they are strong and healthy because you can be able to maintain.
Hii picha tukiangalia inamaanisha nini?
The Soldiers of Hope have also been active in their communities, conducting outreach activities and educating people. In their own small ways, the unsung heroes have made extraordinary progress in the fight against AIDS. What matters most to them is being able to touch someone's life, light it up and leave them feeling alive and filled with so much hope and determination to fight for their lives.
Wale wanazaliwa kwanza wazaliwa hawana na wale ambao wako nao saizi wabaki wao peke yao, wale ambao hawana yani sasa kwa ni free zone ambaye hakuna mambo tena virusi.
Na kama hujapatikana naye, tafadhali ufunge hiyo kanda. Do your zero grazing, don't move out.
Talk to officers and make sure there is no child who is born HIV positive in the services and even in the community. And it gives me a lot of joy when I see a mother has delivered a baby who is HIV negative. I just feel that I have 100 years to live.